Welcome in. MJ38 show, episode number 25. 25 of them things. No athletes at the top of the head, but we keep it moving anyway.
Reggie Bush.
Hey.
I don't know if he was 25 in the pros, but he was 25 in college.
Okay. Was he 5 in college? Or 25? Was 25 in the pros?
I was so sure it was 25 in college.
We have the internet. Hold on.
But he's a Heisman winner. Thank you for Googling that, Justin. I was about 2 seconds away from ripping out the phone.
Heisman winner Reggie Bush. Dude, I remember having on my MySpace page, back in that day, on my MySpace page, I had like a video of Reggie Bush highlights at USC.
Yeah.
Nasty.
He's disgusting, right?
I bet if we watched him today, they would still hold water because he's just nasty.
Yes.
Reggie
oh, man.
Bush.
Yeah, he was great. I played like the last NCAA football game that I played. Had Vince Young and Reggie Bush and like that class of people in it. And Reggie Bush was just...
Yeah, I think he was 5 in college. 25 he was 25 on the Saints.
25 on the Saints.
His first year.
I'm with you. I was there for it. I believed in him so much.
I'm pretty sure he was 5. I watched those highlights a lot. I watched that video on my page so many times.
Good call. Good call. It's cool because I didn't.
Sorry, what you're saying?
I felt like I want the pro. I like the pro number better. I forget what they wore in college a lot of times because I watched from the pro perspective.
Yeah. I don't really be watching college football like that.
I don't. Especially not now.
I watch the NFL for sure. So yeah, it would make sense that you would associate your memory of the jersey you saw him playing in your imagination to the NFL one.
Yeah, there we are.
Boom.
And we're back.
And we're back in it. The waters are warm. Life is good. We got an extra hour, y'all. We got an extra hour of life today. How nice is that?
It's like a gift. It's like a birthday present.
Just a gift
from Father Time.
Woke up this morning, 10:45 on the or whatever. Yeah, it was like 10:40 something on the clock. I remember in my subconscious like looking at it and then going back to sleep and then like having the thoughts of, okay, I don't have much time left. We gotta get up in a little bit, start getting ready for church, go do the thing. And then I looked at my phone and I was like, we're good, baby.
Such a nice feeling, man. You know, it's like you only feel that when you fall back an hour.
One time,
you get this feeling of I walked out, my phone was dead when I woke up, but like I needed to get going. I go out and I look at the clock. I'm like, I'm running behind a little bit. Gotta get out the door.
Baby.
Quick shower. Plug my phone in. I take my quick shower on the hustle. Come out to my phone being on. Pick up the phone. Oh, I'm golden. Make a cup of coffee.
A whole extra hour. You literally just like in the video game. It's just like boop.
Yeah, it was awesome.
1 hour, 60 minutes. Granted.
Yes.
Oh shit. Yes. I could take my time.
Yeah.
It's crazy because, whenever you're trying to be on the schedule, it seems as though time is like closing in on you and you have less and less and less of it. But then you're just like, whoop.
Yeah.
Like, oh, my bubble. All right, cool. I can enjoy all of this until my obligations hit me. It's like, boop, boop. You're like the central focal point and it's like all hitting you. Sometimes it's like, it's crunching you.
Yeah. I feel that just in normal life when I'm trying, there's some people say like you're ahead of the day, you're behind the day.
Yeah.
And then once I became aware of that, maybe like 6 months ago, I just like really try to get out the door when I'm supposed to, because then I'm like, if I get to the gym on time, then I'm leaving. There's several times where you could fuck it up. Like,
oh yeah,
leave the gym on time, get to work on time. You're ready to start work on time. Like there's nice flow for everything. And when I'm on top of it, performance is like key. Like I'm performing super well in those moments.
Yeah.
But then when I'm behind the day, then it gets to like performance time. It's hard to perform well because I'm like, I've been suffering from like being behind I'm not like in step with where the flow would be. And I have to like refine rhythm and like create a new space-time continuum for me to walk in. Sometimes I'm just like, let go of that stuff. New moment, new space to breathe in. Like,
alrighty.
I can punch in.
Creating a new moment.
Yeah.
Because you're off the not the beaten path, but you're behind.
Yeah.
Behind, and the time is closed. The walls are closing in. Yeah,
dude. So that thing just feels true. And then today's dope because you get the extra hour to like. I've been on top of everything today. I feel great.
Yeah, way ahead. It feels so different.
It manifests literally. I said performance earlier to reference how it manifests literally, but I was just in my car and I opened up a beat that we're working on, and I just one take like really like a hard 16, like really good tone, a different cadence. The delivery was like giving me stank face with myself. Like I started like feeling myself a little bit.
Yo, you can ride that shit. It's crazy. You feel it
for real.
100%.
And then like in those moments, the next thing to say was so available to me. because like I don't know if I felt ahead of it,
Yeah.
but like that's kind of what it was, right?
Yeah.
Like by the time I was giving myself stank face with the delivery, I was already like reaching into the next thing I was gonna say, and I was like, I got me, like I'm about to crush
Yeah,
right
it
here.
feels like you're jumping from like stone to stone, and like sometimes you know exactly where the stone is, and you're like, "Hey, ho!"
Yeah, it's so
You have to keep
nice.
skipping across because the music's just coming at you.
And then the other part that was sick was like the cadence was so fresh. It wasn't like a typical, like a lot of times my brain will just like rhyme scheme the BPM for whatever BPM it is. So like it'll end up sounding like a lot of my verses are similar. And then I want to throw like all of those out except for maybe the best ones. But like if I'm on like a new cadence, then it's like really fresh because I'm hitting like rhymes in different ways that I don't normally use.
Yeah, yeah, the delivery and organization of the syllables.
Yeah, because it's like a little different on the surface level, it makes my brain use different avenues to deliver everything.
Yeah, it's like more activated.
Yeah, and
It's
so
like being in unknown territory.
for real, and
Yeah.
then but you're like I'm like more is coming out of me in a positive way rather than like unknown territory could be like nerve wracking or like scary. It's
Yeah.
like no, like it's drawing new inspiration and new flows out of me.
Yeah, it's like the call to be the champion is like accepting that challenge versus like the anxiety that falls or that could be associated with trying to fall back from it.
Yeah, or being like
nah.
nervous from it.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
no, I'm just in there, and it was crazy. But like,
We're all supposed to be in there, bro.
right,
Right. Come on.
that's it. Welcome to the MJ38 show.
Waters are warm.
Good morning.
Good morning. Good evening. Good night.
We just signed off.
We're done. No, we're just getting going. We're just getting going.
Yeah, for real.
Yeah, we were chatting it up before the pod. Oh yeah, but we were talking about being on time and not being on time. I remember having like the exact sentiment you were just expressing. I remember having my own like now like we're talking about it now at this age. Like I think we're getting deeper into that. I think that's super true. Like falling off the timeline of like being ahead or falling behind. And then also I remember having, I guess the way I conceptualized that years ago was probably it was before COVID, so it's like 4 years ago. I remember telling my coworkers, or one of my coworkers, when we worked on the Riverwalk. One of my coworkers, I remember telling him like I like to go to sleep. Like when I get out of here, I try to go to bed. Like he's talking about going out to the bars or going out to the clubs after work, blah blah. I'm like honestly, man, I just like go home and like try to eat something, maybe pass out like before midnight. It's like one of my kind of like bookmarkers. I was like, I don't want to. I was like, tomorrow starts tonight. You know what I'm saying? And he was just like, oh shit.
That's hard, bro. Yeah.
I was like, I'm already into tomorrow. If I'm like up past midnight, I'm literally in the next day already.
Yeah.
But yeah, I guess that was just kind of like a conception, a smaller, a little more condensed version of the full realization of like, oh yeah, like the time is like kind of pressing in on you, you know?
Yeah, I was just catching that. I just wanted to just catch it for a second because it was so deep. Like like how you end today is the start of your tomorrow, for real.
That's it.
Yeah, they're connected.
It's like every time you log out, it's like you log right back in where you were.
Yeah, I feel it with my
You set
sleep
yourself
schedule.
up.
Seriously, if you only get 6 hours of sleep too, or if you drink, all that stuff like kind of carries into the next day as like you're down a little bit, like off rip. Like trying to think of a way to describe it. It's like you have like a negative buffer on yourself for like the first couple hours of your day.
Yeah.
And it's hard then that's like more blockade from you being on time or from like being in that like flow where you're getting everything done and like things are kind of when I'm in rhythm and like with the day, things come to me. Like as I'm stepping forward, it's coming to me. And then I don't really have to reach for it. And then I get more synchronistic moments where like it's like I can do a lot, but like I can never do the magic moments on my own. It's like if I have to rely on myself, then like the crazy like moments that there's stuff that I can't create. And so like those things exist in the timeline where I'm supposed to be at the right time, which starts with like how I finished yesterday, right?
Yeah.
But like that's the part about being on time that makes it so worth it is that like you can only do so much. But whenever there's like magic moments in the day where it's like beyond you, but you're like there to be there for it and like facilitate it and manifest it into like your life. It's bananas. It's bananas. It's a different. It's like 3D and 4D. It's like you're in my own mind. People will be like, it doesn't matter if I'm running late or it doesn't matter if I like take a little bit here or give a little bit there or whatever. Sleep like stay up late tonight. It's all gonna be good or whatever. And it's like yes, but no, because like you need to be where you're supposed to be when you're supposed to be there. how could you control that at all except for trying to be where you're supposed to be right now?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. That's all you can focus on.
That's all you. That's all
That's
you
all
got.
you get.
Yeah, exactly.
That's all you get to see is right now.
Right. So that kind of like, as I'm becoming more mature, those are like the creative thoughts around this topic that like come into my mind, and then I have to figure out how to organize them. Or I'm like, how does this make sense? Like, just the thought being that it's much more when you're in rhythm. Sometimes stuff happens in front of, like, I'm just so lucky, bro. Like, for instance, I'm at work, I see someone describing something, like I happen to walk into a conversation about a bottle of wine, and then I go back to a table where they're looking for a recommendation, and I'm kind of blanking, and I just like regurgitate that recommendation because they were like, I'm looking for this and this, and it was like, this is a this and this, and I'm just like, connect the dots.
Dude, I literally had the same exact thing happen to me like the other night.
Really?
Yeah, Victoria's like, man, I feel so proud of myself because I guess someone had asked me about, do we have any Zinfandel? And then I was like, red Zinfandel. She's like, yeah. We do have. Or then she was like looking at the wine list, and she was like, honestly, man, like Howell Mountain is a really renowned appellation in the Napa Valley region, and anything from there is going to be money, pretty much. And then they got the Robert Craig Zinfandel. She drank it, and she was like, oh, this is incredible. I love this, blah, blah, blah. And then I was like, man, or I guess that was her story. And then whenever her and I were talking about that story, I was like, yeah, you could also recommend Prisoner or 8 Years in the Desert. They're both Zinfandel blends. And then she was like, oh, yeah, for sure. But yeah, whatever. She just wanted a pure Zinfandel, whatever. So Robert Craig, Howell Mountain. Apparently that shit hits.
Heard that.
But then I go like the next day, the first table at the next shift. I was like, welcome in. I'll be greeting us, blah, blah, blah. Can I get anything started for you? And they started talking about wine. He's like, any red Zinfandel? And I was like, yeah, we have Robert Craig from Howell Mountain, and we also have The Prisoner and 8 Years in the Desert as well, both by Orrin Swift. And he's like, oh. And then like the wife was like, he was like, Prisoner? And she was like, 8 years. Let's do 8 years. I was like, I bet. Fucking got him within 24 hours.
That's crazy, dude.
Right?
That's like, you're a hardworking individual, super disciplined. There's things about you that blow my freaking mind, but you had to be like in the right place for that to happen.
And for it to happen in her reality, for her to share it with me, and then for us to converse and diverse, and then conceptualize whatever just happened, and then it happened like the next shift.
That's bonkers, dude. That's bonkers, dude.
Random.
That's allegedly. Allegedly.
Alleged, Your Honor.
Yeah. Yes, that's what this show's about.
Wait, that happened to you too, right?
Yes. Yeah. Sorry, I'm just catching that.
No, that's what this show's about.
Yeah, seriously. It's like work hard and then like that part too.
That crazy shit's gonna happen. All those coincidences.
Man, but yeah, so same thing. They're looking for just a Merlot that was, I forget what the other descriptors that hit were, but it just like recalled straight into my mind about Frank Family Vineyards.
Mm-hmm.
There was something kind of looking for something broad, and they talked about Napa, and I think it's from Napa Valley, but I could be like putting my foot in my mouth. But at any rate, I had connected those dots, and I was just like, "Fuck it, dude!" Started regurgitating this stuff, and then they loved the taste profile that I gave them, and I was like, "Man, thank God that my man John described it so well to that other guy right in front of me," because I just like went straight in with the same. On the nose, you get this. On the back end, you get this, and then I bring it out.
Oh, okay, sorry, keep going.
And then
shout out John.
It's just at a great price point too. So like I felt good about like if it would have been super expensive and I never tasted or anything like that, I would have been like a little more nervous about just like saying, I think you'd like this. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. But
I felt comfortable with it having that. My man John gave such a confident, like, this is why I have this. It's dope. Boom, boom. Yeah, exactly. Boom, boom, boom. The guy takes one sip and he's like, this is gas. Like, I love it.
Sold.
He's like, pour me a little bit and decant the rest. I'm like, let's go.
Let's go.
But yeah, in that moment, I kind of
being on time helps that happen somehow. I can't tell you how it works.
It's crazy. There's a rhythm of the night in my mind.
There's a rhythm in this life. It's a song and dance.
Yes.
I think that's miscues and faux pas.
That's why it's nice to have like music in the car.
I ain't telling no lies. Sorry. I just got lost in a miscues and faux pas. I was like, oh, it's hard. Jesus God.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is, bro.
Because it's a song and dance.
Yeah, put the 8. I want to make an 8 a.m. in Charlotte remix. That's the kind of bar that goes in that song. Yeah, bro.
That's something Drizzy would say.
For real.
You know what I'm saying? I think we tap into that same whatever the hell. It's like boop. because it is a song and dance, and there's a timing to it. I guess that's kind of what all this conversation was alluding to. There's a timing to this thing.
Yes. And
time is our life. That's it. Your life, you are time. Surprise.
Yeah, seriously. You're like you are a representation of time. We literally grow as we get older, but that's like a representation of time.
Yeah, you are a personification of time.
That's crazy.
Literally. A
A personification. Yeah, you got me fucked up, dude.
Facts. But there's a timing to it. It's a rhythm and a dance. And whenever you're in that rhythm and dance and you're hitting the right moves at the right time, it's a beautiful thing. And then crazy coincidences like that happen to maybe reaffirm that you're dancing in the correct way. And if you don't get those kind of crazy moments, then maybe it's kind of reaffirming that you're not dancing in the right way, or like listening to the song properly.
Yeah, that's deep. Let's throw the extra metaphor on the back end for everybody. Yeah, and I know for sure because I spent like days or like longer durations of time where I'm just like in rhythm, and then I'm like, life is so rich and all these moments are so magical, and it's like, then when you get out of that, you're like, there's a clear difference. But I think like when you're stepping into it, it's kind of like you're almost gaslighting yourself a little bit, because it's hard to understand like how, I don't know, like this more spiritual aspects of our nature and like how life is alive itself. And I think sometimes we don't like know how to accept that or how to like have a belief system or a way to think about it. So we're just like, no, it's coincidence. Or like,
it's coincidence.
Yeah. Like once you start doing good, you make yourself start doing bad for like no reason, or like you start blaming other people. I don't know how to explain it. It's like everything wants you to win and go upward, and it just calls you forward to your challenge that you're appropriately equipped for. And then as long as right now, and as long as you stay doing what you're supposed to be doing, it's like it goes up. Everything goes up.
It's just like a video game. And I remember hearing Jordan Peterson say, like, describing that, it's like whenever you start attacking and killing the dragons, you gain experience. Like literally, like you have to like push yourself to the absolute limit of what you're willing to take. If you're like afraid of elevators, like have a phobia of elevators, you have to maybe try to get as close as you can and then build up from there. I'll start at 3 feet. Can you do that? No. Okay, I'll start at 6 feet. Can you do that? Yeah. Okay, I'll do 4. Okay, now I'll do 2. Okay, now I'll get close. I'll try to get inside. No, not quite yet. Okay, I'll stay at 2. Let me go to 1. Let me take a step. I'm inside. You know, and you gain experience. He's like, it's like a video game. He's like, video games are like life. Actually.
Like almost all art is.
And you get to the higher dungeons, you get to the higher levels, and you fight the higher beasts, and you win the more you fight them. And you have to fight the levels that you can fight right now.
That's what the show's about.
That's it.
That's what the show's about. And you're always well equipped to do it. Like right now you can do it. You can start where you can start. If it's like not 3, but it's 6 feet, it's like you can start somewhere. Or like one dish is like the same principle. It's like I can't do the whole sink of dishes. It's like, but I can do one dish. Or like, can you do one dish? Or like, can you go buy the soap? Like, can you
get a sponge and soap?
Yeah, for real. Like, well, can you soak the dishes? Like, what's the bare minimum you could do? And then like the next time, it's like the bare minimum that you could do is like a little more, like almost always.
Yes.
And that's like the therapeutic nature of like that thing that you just described.
Yeah.
Is like and then there's like a swelling once you get confidence, because you're like, oh, I can keep doing a little more. Like I'm defeating this dragon, like it's dying.
Yeah.
Then like that, so one dish turns into 3 dishes, turns into the whole sink for me. It's always like that. It's one, and then I'm like, okay, I need a few more, and then it's like did the whole sink,
knocked it out
for real. And it's like the boom, boom, and the momentum gets you going crazy.
Yes, bro.
But it's the hardest thing in the world too. Like I get it, dude.
That's why I love the gym so much, bro. I just love going there.
Similar.
I just love going there and doing that fucking thing.
Why? Because
it feels. I think that's like that's how you build the momentum. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I guess it takes a lot to get to the gym, though, for a lot of people. But I think it's so worth it, though. In my mind, it's not even a question.
Yeah.
At this point, like fucking sold, bro.
I could tell
no
you.
No blind faith needed. Like I know, dog. It's a different.
I get to talking to like my dad about going to the gym, just like we go to the gym, but it's like I have to remember that it's a different conversation. If you haven't, there's something you can conquer that makes it different. And the thing that you have to conquer is like showing up to the gym every day, like just literally being there, like integrating being at the gym into your life.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be the gym either. Like my mom loves to go running. Like she doesn't go to she very rarely runs on a treadmill. She's always running outside. People have whatever, like you go swimming or mountain climbing.
That is true.
Bike riding, whatever. But either way, yeah, showing up to the gym. Is that what you were saying?
Yeah, no, but I think that's the harder thing. Like just to go every day and it's a part of your life to be there every day. Or the trail's the same thing though. Like to carve out the time where you're like, I am spending this time working on my body, I guess is what it is, or your health or
My
whatever,
health,
whatever
yeah.
you want to call it.
My human.
That's when I said body. I'm talking about like
Yeah.
the man of this thing,
The avatar.
Because like I'm up here,
I gotta
yeah,
take care of this thing.
yeah, dude, exactly.
This leg ain't not my leg. It's Justin's leg.
For real, dude.
Gotta
Like
take care of Justin, man.
exactly. That's a crazy perspective too. Like, yeah,
That's my dog.
Yeah, for
You're my
real.
dog too, bro. I love you, Matthew.
I love you, thanks, bro. I love you too. I love you too, bro. We're fucking out here.
Mhm.
Yeah, and so yeah, but people, it's hard because like you're behind. The same thing as being behind on timing. A lot of times, why people are like, "I'm behind all day
I don't
long."
have any time for that.
Yeah, what are we talking
I don't
about?
have the time for that.
But you gotta make time, Sandy.
You gotta make the time.
Yeah.
You gotta make the time.
Yeah.
Is that from something?
It's from SpongeBob. Yeah. Well, Sandy's like,
Okay, you gotta make time.
Yeah.
Okay, I can hear it now.
you did it really good.
Yeah.
But that's how I feel about the gym. When people tell me like I don't have time for the gym, I'm like, no, the best part of my day is the time that I made for the gym.
Yep.
When
I love that part of my day.
If I'm running late to the gym, I'm like mad at myself for not giving myself time to play.
Yeah,
Like,
I hate, or yeah, not getting a full workout. What I consider to be a full workout in. I'm like, man, I cut myself short.
yeah.
But it's like, better than nothing.
Yeah,
But still.
you gotta take what you can get because showing up to the gym is the first most important thing.
Bang.
So like, I go to the gym even if it's just a shower at the gym.
Yeah. That's hard.
No cap, bro.
Oh my god.
Seriously, because
I love that. We're clipping that shit.
that's not a joke. Like all facts, because it's important to go. I need my brain to know that I'm going there every day.
Yeah, even if I go for 15 minutes in the sauna.
Yep.
Like 15 minutes is 15 minutes.
Seriously.
Super small chunk of time relatively. But like I'm boop, boop,
Yep.
worth it. And it's worth it every time.
That's tight.
100%.
That's tight. I think that that's really you're saying like 15 minutes of workout helps versus 0. It's like big impact, right?
And it's, the building the habit of going to the gym.
Yeah,
or showing up.
That's both sides. That's exactly what I was alluding to.
Yeah, I shower at the gym.
Yeah, man.
Just to shower. That's fucking hilarious.
Because I know that if I spend one day where I say like, oh no, like I don't have to go there today. It's like there's gonna be like a momentum for that thing tomorrow.
Yes.
And right now that
You
thing,
feed that wolf.
fuck that.
Fuck that wolf.
Right
You gotta
now-
starve that wolf. I know it hurts, but you gotta starve it. Starving hurts, bro. You
Choke 'em out,
you gotta
bro.
I am legend that shit, bro. I'm sorry.
Yeah, right now that wolf is at 0, like 0 health. And then sometimes there's like, especially right now, okay, so I think I can speak metaphysically, like when you step into new territory, some of the conquered grounds will like earthquake a little bit. So like stuff you didn't have to deal with before, now you're dealing with it again.
Yeah.
And then it like then because you've conquered it, like you can quickly get back to where you're not dealing with that shit anymore. But on the other end of the spectrum, like now I'm kind of running late everywhere where that wasn't really like a problem. And like it balances out because like normally I've conquered like all of those things, but it just feels like all the territory is getting like kind of shuffled around. And then I feel like so there's a lot of opportunity for me to say like, oh, I'm not gonna go to the gym today. Whereas like 3 or 4 months ago, I didn't miss any days. Then like didn't miss any days, like no problem. You know what I'm saying? But like then if I let that wolf get any momentum, then it's gonna be a real
It
problem.
levels up.
Yeah.
It levels up with you.
And in 6 weeks, maybe I only got half my workouts in. That's a much different. I'm in a really good place right now. Like that's
Yeah.
a bad place.
Yeah, yeah. Fucking crazy, bro.
Yeah, that's
That was
life.
tight.
That's life, bro.
That's life, yo.
That's what I've been learning
Shit.
out here.
Yes, man. It gets out here. And all that to say, thank God we got that extra hour back today, y'all. I'm all right.
Oh, we're up.
Yes, bro.
Oh,
That was so nice. So nice.
That's why I don't want to get rid of daylight savings. It's such a conversation.
But there was, I guess, it's not that bad to lose the hour. I guess it is to a degree, but like you adjust real quick. I think the relief of getting the hour back I feel so much better to get that extra hour of sleep.
It's crazy.
It's crazy.
It's like it's worth the accounting.
It's worth it.
-1 +1. Like
Yeah.
people are like, why would we ever account time? Why do we ever have fucking farmers? We've talked about this on pods.
Yeah, we talked about this many a pod ago.
Yeah, when we lost the hour.
yeah, we did.
It's crazy. But like, yo, it's so nice when you get that hour back.
So nice.
Why would
I
we-
think, I just lived it. I remember living both, and I think that losing the hour was not as bad as gaining this hour for sure. I can say right now.
this is the same argument for working out, bro.
What?
It's like, it's well worth it to sacrifice because when you get back, it's so worth it, bro. I'm telling you, every time I'd rather pay a little bit so that I get the feeling of getting it back. And that's also working out. But
Yeah.
when you lose the hour of sleep or you lose the hour of your day to go to the workout, or like you it hurts physically, like your legs are sore, and you're like grumpy about it sometimes. Like I know that feeling. Like I just want to be able to walk, bro. I'm sick of this shit, bro. I can't even step.
Like you sit down or stand up everywhere.
You gotta fall into every couch because your glutes are like too tight.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I get it. That sucks, but
literally hurts.
yeah, like not just talking about it hurts like metaphysically, but like your body is like in pain.
And yeah, you have to like carve out your day for it. You only have so much of that. You only have so many minutes. You have to carve out so many for so many days. Like Jocko was talking about it on a little IG clip, just saying, he's like, you work out once, the results are imperceivable. You work out twice, nothing. You work out 100 days in a row, you'll see change. And like, yeah, apply that same metaphor to whatever else he was talking about.
That is the problem with working out, is that it's not I like the clip that says champions do what winners only do sometimes, or it's something like that. It's like people do it sometimes, and then winners do it all the time. And it's like people sometimes go to the gym, or it's like NFL athletes go every day. Like people sometimes eat right, NFL athletes do it every day. So some people sleep right and do every day. And I was like, oh, that is, it's like, so like sometimes you can perceive things as like I only have to do this, like not as an everyday audit, that if you don't check all these boxes, you're not going where you want to go. You're like, oh, I eat healthy. Every now and then I get a salad, or like, and I'm being super critical, so I'm sorry if you guys aren't appreciating this, but I'm just gonna go in. This is how I treat myself.
He's preaching to somebody today.
It's definitely. It's like I eat healthy, like at lunch, at work, but like you get home and you eat like dog shit. Or like I work out, but like working out, it's like you're not in a program and you're not in a system, and you just go and kind of like do some curls and you never do legs. There's not like a rhythm or like any kind of intention, structure, planning for like a physical goal that you have. And like you're not doing the thing. It's not what it looks like. Doing it looks like every single day you're checking that box. Like eating healthy today for like breakfast, and then lunch, and then dinner, and then like my sleep schedule today. It's like that was a big switch in my mentality. When I was like 24, you're like not, I couldn't stand on top of everything that I had to do, and then doing all of those things and like knowing it was going down like that. It's like now I perceive every single day. I used to call it like a mission because it was kind of like new to me. I don't really like, now it's more regular, but before it's like, okay, I'm on a mission today for real. Yeah, I got to do this, and then I got to make it to the gym. I got to go crazy at the gym. I got to show up to work. I'm trying to make like $250. I don't give a fuck. Like that's how it's going down today. And then I had to like show up and like make those things happen. Like the freaking Lincoln lawyer, like I'm pulling up and I'm making a deal go down. Like that's it. That's like no compromise, no negotiations. Like these guys are leaving happy for real. And like, I don't know, that's a lot to put on your plate. You could just like you ever just like watch TV all day? You know, it's like fun, right? Like, it's like great.
Play video games all day,
dude. Yeah, that was
lost in that shit.
That was my life for like a lot of my younger life.
Yeah,
it's like doing it this way is so much better. It's ridiculous. Like things are happening. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it is. Yeah, we're load bearing creatures. We're sled dogs. We need something to pull. You know what I'm saying? If not, you'll chew off your own leg.
Dude, that's so heavy, bro.
I think it's another shout out to Jordan Peterson on that one. My subconscious.
So good, bro. It's so good because what you're saying is like when you ask somebody, you ask a lot of somebody, then they like appreciate that. They like, people want to show up. People want to challenge to overcome. Like if someone's on some bullshit, like maybe they don't literally want you to come over there and call them out on their bullshit. Like to a degree, they want to get over that shit. Like we want to get over our own shit. Like we want to be better.
Yeah, people love the challenge.
Yes.
People love a challenge. And there's a way to challenge somebody in like too negative of a light and make it impossible and give like just try to make them feel less than.
Yeah.
But there's also the proper way, like a proper challenge and like a properly even match between you and the dragon. Like you're fighting a demon that you can beat. But it's like it's gonna be a close fight. It's a challenge. It's like I'm calling what is it? Calling you to action or
calling you forward for sure.
Yeah,
that's the term. That's the phraseology I use.
Yeah, bringing the challenge to you, calling you up for
call
more.
To action.
Yeah, call to action, whatever. But like, it's nice because we're doing that now in our day to day, more so than we've ever been because we're kind of now in like a leadership position to a degree. But like, it's cool to be kind of like a teacher. You know, like a teacher could like call the students to like the challenge of like taking on this unknown information and then transmuting that into known information that you have control over and you understand.
You have to like believe in them
Mm-hmm.
because it's like
Mm-hmm.
that's what it takes. Like I'm like you have to trust in them because like they need like to be brought forward because
Mm-hmm.
it's difficult. I know that they're gonna have to do something kind of difficult. So that's like
Yes.
why I don't want to be hard on them per se, or like why I'm like try to be more appreciative than anything, or like when you're trying to like teach and not like break people down. It's like kind of a fine line because some people teach by breaking people down, and like it's just in my mind. I just know. I think it comes from playing football. That, like there's a factor going on in all of this that like what we're doing is difficult on our like our bodies, our schedule, our lives, our
Mm-hmm.
sleep. Like all this is like
Your health, your overall mental, physical health.
yeah, we're all beat up at the end of it, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And like that part plays in my mind even early in the day when we're not beat up. Like I know that we're gonna be in that place where like we needed each other. We're like, dude, I needed you. I was so fucked. And like you were there for me, thank you. Like and then you just like feel kind of like I don't know. Like so when I'm going into a moment where I'm gonna like try to tell someone that they need to like be better or call them forward, I also know that they're gonna like give their all more or less and be kind of like beat up by this thing that we're doing. So that's why it's like I feel like the blow softens itself because it's like I genuinely care. Like I genuinely have some like
And I
love
want
in
you to
me.
do well.
Yeah.
I want you to win.
Right.
I want you to win.
Yeah. I don't want to like show my authority or like break you down or make you
Yeah.
feel negatively. Like I want to win and I want you to be a winner too.
Mm-hmm.
And I think we get that across really well somehow, or it comes
Yeah.
across at least.
Yeah. This is genuine.
Yeah.
I want you to win. I think God wants us to win.
And we
Yeah.
can. We're capable. We believe that.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Be that champion, bro. Be the champion you're called to be at whatever level you got, wherever you're at, and see where the hell it takes you. Only God knows.
That's life. Life's like a video game. Video games are like life.
Yep.
It's crazy.
You're on a quest. Like you're having objectives. It's GTA out here.
So dope. So dope. That's how we've been perceiving life.
That's why GTA so crazy. People love that shit.
Yeah, right. It's like an organized day.
Yeah.
Like, it's like just hop in and do an organ. It's like
You're driving. You always drive.
yeah, yeah. That's cool. It's cool.
It's fun. Man.
I don't like it though because man, I just
So
want
like what?
like
GTA?
just any video game that's dope because it's like life. Like like whenever people if we're ever playing a video game where people are just like walking in a city and like eating a hot dog, it's like go walk in your city and eat a hot dog, bro. Like your avatar, God give you an IRL avatar for real, or at least that's my perspective on it. Like regardless, you have one, and like it trips me out that like some people genuinely. Like I think some people appreciate virtual reality more than like reality.
Yes.
And I don't want to like
100%.
not shitting on anybody here, but just me personally. I don't know if I'm a hippie or what, but like it doesn't make a lot of sense to me.
Mm-hmm. I think I remember seeing what was it, TLC or MTV or VH1, one of those channels had that True Life show. And it was, I think it was like maybe I'm misquoting it, but either way, there was like some sort of show thing that was talking about this, like people that were like addicted to playing this life simulation. It was just like a video game of like normal shit,
Yeah.
normal ass shit.
I think they talk about it on The Office because Dwight's playing like Second Life. I think.
Yeah,
is what it's called.
yes, that's it exactly.
Or, yeah, he's like playing Second Life. His character in Second Life was playing Second Life. I'm sorry. Go on, please.
No, that was it. That was it. Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm not shitting on anybody. Like I get it. I think sometimes reality becomes too hard. That's like the trauma part of life. That like when people are difficult, a lot of times I think it's just because they're dealing with their own trauma. Otherwise, for the most part, we kind of get along.
Well, they're dealing with how they're dealing with life.
Yes, because life can be traumatic, in my opinion. It's like, for those people, it seems like virtual reality life is like a nice escape. Just
yes, I was gonna say it's a separation, escape.
Yes, escape sucks because we're kind of like demonizing it or like in my mind.
There's a negative connotation.
Yeah. But maybe like crutch has a negative connotation.
Yeah, it is what it is.
Yeah. Sometimes you need an escape, maybe.
Yeah, it's nice to have a break. God rested on the seventh day.
That's a great argument.
You need a break. It's nice to have an escape or like, go on a vacation or to get away with your boot thing or whatever.
Yeah, for sure.
To spend 24 hours just watching movies and fucking around and then it's like, all right, back to the fucking grindstone. But it's not okay to stay in that fucking 24-hour movie watching phase.
Yeah. Yeah. It sucks because I I have a hard time. I don't have that it's like that balance isn't like an easy balance to hold
It's not.
sometimes, right?
I would much rather lean towards the keep on working, boy.
Well, exactly, but why though?
Because I think the other way, it's so easy to fall. Like the slope is slippery.
Yeah, the slope is slippery. I spend a lot of time there, and I think the ramifications are really negative. Like, you ever seen like your own life pass you by? Like that shit's
A whole month to go by. I was like, fuck.
dude.
There was a whole other month. This year's almost over. So we're in November. The hell?
We got to keep going. We got to
2024 almost, bro.
dude. Yeah, time will get away
Cristo.
from you. I thought about that. We're about to be in. I remember
Mhm.
when it was like Michael Jordan year, and then the Kobe year was so far away, and now we're about to walk right into the Kobe year, dude.
It's gonna fly by. It's gonna fly by.
But yeah, but also like just okay. So I'm preaching at people. So just like be honest. I feel like if I had a better control on being on top of my day and my checkbox and my mission, I definitely would have had like a collegiate basketball career. If I could have like made myself work out and stay consistent with the diet and everything, like but I let myself get into that slippery slope of like escapism too many times and too consistently that I like missed my opportunity. Like literally showed up late for like the walk on tryouts, which was like I don't even know how I didn't wake up late for like the longest time. And then just like my alarm didn't go off that day. And I was using like a computer program to be an alarm, so it was like weird that it didn't go off because like I'd been using it for 4 or 5 days. It's a whole thing, bro. But like regardless, it was just a reflection of how I was like training for it, but I wasn't like on time for it. I don't know, like
Yeah, it wasn't in the timeline.
no, like I was. You could work your ass off, and then it's like not enough sometimes because you didn't. That's the Cain and Abel story to me. I think that Cain like did his best, which was like and I might be dead wrong, dude, for real, but this is how I perceive it. But it was kind of like a jackass's attempt, where you're late to the store and you buy the wrong shit, and then you fucking put something together and you wasted a bunch of your time, and then you're working really hard at the end, and then like you're like, okay, here's my product. Whereas like the other way to do it's the responsible way, where you're like on time and you get the right thing and you're well versed and you did your research, and then like
It's like a project, like a school project.
yeah.
It's like, I have 100 for this? Like, no. No, you cannot have 100 for this half-ass project.
Right? But like there's something really I think it's a story in Cain and Abel because it's so easy to be one or the other. Or maybe I think it's so easy to be Cain and it's hard to be Abel. And then the people, why is it so easy to be Cain? The fact that like it's so easy to be like that is enough to make you want to kill Abel, because you're like it's almost inconceivable.
It's impossible.
You start making up excuses and reasons. If I had this, I would have done that. Or if I looked like him, or if I had that money in my family, I would have had a better project. But like, it's not so, bro. Like, that's the Cain voice talking. And then like,
yeah.
And that's why I'm like, I'd rather just do the work. I'd rather just keep being on time. I don't really want to like integrate any of that Cain
Escapism,
momentum, because it's so easy to just be like,
that wolf gets big. Really, that wolf gets double experience.
ugh,
Anytime you feed it, it gets double experience, and the Cain wolf or the Abel wolf only gets half experience.
yeah, it's harder to grow that thing and sustain it. And whenever that thing is like big and huge and scary, like that thing's scary, I'm like, just keep eating it. Just keep eating it, bro.
When the Abel wolf is yoked, it's like, oh, fuck yeah, dog.
It's awesome.
Yeah, it's like having this fucking Entei. It's like a whole fucking starting 6 Pokemon of legendaries. It's like, oh, who's fucking with me?
Dude, for real. I love that feeling. So that's why I want to keep. But it's like you said though, to start the segment is like, I don't know, it's good. Escape isn't like a bad thing. A crutch isn't a bad thing. It's bad when it's misused.
Yes, and abused.
God.
Misuse of things.
I'm just gonna clip this podcast so I can write a song later, dude. These bars are just writing themselves, bro.
Yes, they do. Yes, they do. These songs write themselves for real. I see what Jay-Z's talking about.
Yeah,
He don't need a pen.
Yeah.
I literally just like remember my stuff. The only time I ever really need it is when I'm trying to perform it perfectly for the microphone one time.
Yeah.
But I have it all in my head.
Yeah, right. That's crazy, right? It's hard to tap into your whole space. I think that's one thing that like our boss wants us to do, and like talk to me about it, just like tap it into like, you know, everything that's going on. If you could like see into it, or like it, for me it's hard with art. Like I can't always just be so, it feels like my pineal gland or something in there opens up and I'm just like, oh, okay, I know, I remember everything. Like I have a really wide range of like idea flow and creativity. And if you ask me about what happened earlier, I'm gonna remember really well. And like, but there's other times where I'm like tired or stressed out, or pressed or running late, and it's like harder for me to be like,
Mm-hmm.
oh, what's going on? What's going on? Like I know, but I can't draw it out.
I can't find it.
Right? Yeah.
Hmm.
So then like I don't know how exact I think that's where like the creativity side of things, like making sure that when you're on time to everything, you're also like having a good time being on time. Like listening to
Yes.
your music or whatever that is for you.
It literally is the feeling. You know, everyone knows the feeling of driving to work and then either being like ahead of the schedule or like you know that you're leaving your house with 10 or 15 minutes of cushion, maybe 20 minutes of cushion, you're good to go. Like that feeling is much, much, much different than when you're heading to work and you're 10 to 15 minutes behind and there might be some more traffic on the way.
Oh.
It's such a
Oh.
such a different feeling. I'm like,
And then as soon as you see tail lights, you're like, no.
there's no chance.
The lie I was telling myself that I was gonna get there in 5 minutes is definitely not true now.
Nope. There's no chance. 0% chance I'm making it. Big difference.
Such a big difference,
Such a
dude.
big difference.
Man.
And it's worth it to be on the other side.
That's the argument, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is it worth it? Yes.
Yes,
for sure.
it's worth
for
feeding
sure.
the able wolf for sure. Even though he only gets half experience.
Yes, because ask everybody around you. It's so easy to be like figure out what your ideal is. Like legitimately figure out what your ideal is, and then like just wait for yourself to accidentally fall short of that ideal that you've like stated as the ideal, and then see how it impacts everyone around you. And it's usually negative because when you uphold your ideals, it's a positive for everybody. That's why it's an ideal, you know?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
So like I think it's really easy if something like matters to you and then like you fall short of that, it's like just watch the impact, and it's usually negative.
Yes. Yeah. It's like you get one experience point every day, and you could like either give it to the 0.5 or give it to the times 2. I'm just like, oh, fuck. See where that's gonna end up.
Massive swings, dude.
Mm.
Massive swings.
It happens just like in the macro and the microcosm, because we're talking about like day by day over the course of your life, but also minute by minute, second by second, choice by choice, thoughts to entertain and thoughts to not entertain, and thoughts to whenever you are entertaining them, you're able to wrestle with them and then entertain them in the way you want to.
Yes.
They don't pin you pin the thought.
That's crazy. I had that realization. There's like a detached level where I feel like I can pin any thought. It's like a jujitsu mindset.
Yeah, bro.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, the devil gets fucking good too. He levels up with you.
For sure, yeah.
The Able Wolf or Cain Wolf, sorry, whatever.
No, that makes sense. But
Mhm.
I felt so maybe the devil leveled up as like life gets harder. Like I feel like new book of life. Like
Another level, another devil.
yeah, exactly. You know how that goes. So then we were like wrestling for a little bit, but then like today I was just too detached. Like something I realized about church. I heard Russell Brand talk about it. Not to talk about church, but he said that we are like I'm trying to think of what the words he used were, but like we're a creature that has worship like built into our the way that we express ourselves, like our needs, like a hierarchy of need, more or less, like the way you kind of need water and need food.
Yeah.
Like you need to worship something bigger than you, because all of this is so miraculous that you subconsciously know that part of you has no control here, and so you kind of worship something to like deal with that. And this is just Russell Brand's ideology. But
I feel it, yeah.
Okay.
I'm with you.
And then he's like, that's why people should, in his opinion, like worship God, because like you're gonna worship like the lifestyle you're living, or like the clothes that you're wearing, or like celebrities,
things you have,
the way things make you feel,
Mhm.
or like drugs you can worship too. Like you're giving your like that your essence to
Mhm.
something.
Yes.
And then but like that's a good thing, but you need to give it to God, because like you're gonna end up giving it, and that's usually when like the bad things happen, is when you're giving it to the wrong things, or you have like a false idol, or like whatever name you want to use for it. It's like you have to give your essence like upwards to your creator, more or less. It was his like whole thing there.
Yeah, I agree with that 100%.
Right. And I thought that was like speaking on my day today, is like I gave that thing was a need that was met because I went to church, but you could do that however you're going to do that, right?
Mm-hmm.
But like I feel like because I did that, and then I was like also just a little more rested from the hour, and I was on top of my day, and like I was just good. Like I got into the car and put on some music, and I was just in this place where I don't know, man. I felt like a jujitsu, a mental jujitsu. I was just
Yeah.
like anything that like comes at me. It's just crazy how I can be like put it where it's supposed to go.
And it's like, nope,
Like
nope,
accept it for what it
nope.
is and like
Yeah,
understand
take it
it.
and just
Yeah,
transmute it.
exactly.
Just like, yeah, pushing in and out the waves without getting crashed by any of the water. Just moving it perfectly. Or it's gonna be a fucking storm.
Seriously, dude. Yes, dude. Just nice and zen. It's
Mhm.
crazy, and that's important.
Yes,
That's
bro.
important for what we're doing out here.
Yes,
You
bro.
you can feel it when you have it.
hmm Yeah, and yeah, speaking back to what Russell Brand was talking about, yeah, like giving your essence or giving your like, because something is your God, whatever that is. Like you believe something about how this all came about and your role in it and why you're here. Like subconsciously, you're thinking about that. Like you might be consciously living your day to day, driving here and to from work, doing your objectives and crossing off your to do list. But subconsciously, you're like, how am I even having a to do list? How do I even what made all of this?
Yeah.
I get that I came from parents or whatever, but like, what made them? It's like what made the entirety of this whole thing that we're in right now? Something's going on there,
Yeah.
and it's like, yeah, I guess it's in Russell Brand's what he was referring to. Like, yeah, it's like easy to give it to the material, the flesh, the earth, the things you see.
It's easy to.
It
That's
takes
the thing, dude.
literally blind faith to believe in something you can't see.
Yeah.
So it's a big thing. But I love, yeah, checking that off on the checklist.
Yes.
Going to church.
It made me more loose. Like I guess I brought it up also to say that it was therapeutic in the sense if you want to be detached enough to be able to pin any thought and just be like above it all, it's like that helped me get there.
Yes.
I was kind of like behind a little bit too much just because sometimes like you're being squeezed like an orange. It's like I only have so much juice, you know what I'm saying? Like and I'm really doing my best to make sure that my orange is like a supple orange every day so we can actually get juice out of it. But like I got to a point where like I needed a little bit of rest and I needed like to go like worship more or less and I needed to um I don't know exactly like get detached. It put me in a detached place where I could rap really well. I was just like crushing this beat that you had made.
Yeah, the flow state.
Yeah, the flow state for sure. And then just like all of not intrusive. I think sometimes anxiety induced thoughts or intrusive thoughts are like really just like thoughts you need to contend with that you're not contending with. So like I can go to my mental place and be like, okay, why am I not like zen the fuck out? What's stopping my what thoughts do I need to address and put into the right boxes so that way like I can be at peace. And then like I just like went up there and was like I don't know, just like know what's going on. Like and then it just like I don't know, man, there was something really powerful. I felt really like broad, not like massive, just like colossal, like looking like
yo. Not big in a sense of weight. Like gaining weight.
Nothing like that. No, but like
expansive.
when I said my pineal gland earlier, but I think it's just like my imagination. My imagination felt really broad. I took all my problems into that creative space, and with my creative mind and like where I'm at now with things, was able to just like slice them all up. And was like, okay, it's like we're dealing with this shit. We're dealing with everything. Church was good today. I'm good. Like let's ball.
Yes. Yeah, and that's how we do. I love going to church.
Yeah.
But everyone's got their own thing. And in the words of Big Sean, it ain't about how you praising them in the building. It's about how you praising them when you out.
So true.
That's the biggest thing. Because, like, yeah, when we say church, it might be negatively associated for a lot of people. But I think I've told this to you. But yeah, religion didn't bring me, or yeah, the church didn't bring me to God. God brought me to the church.
Yes.
Like I found him on my own. He found me. We found each other in our own right, in my own place where I was. Never went to church growing up. Maybe on Christmas Eve and Easter, whatever. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That was about it.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, now like through my own life story, I've been able to develop a relationship and an understanding of what God might be. Because I think it does take that blind faith to have the courage to think that none of this is real. There's something greater than all of this that you can like put your trust in that, and it'll make all of this better. You don't have to work at this micro level. You can go right to the macro, and it'll reverse engineer back to you. It takes a lot of blind faith to do that. But yeah, so we don't have, when we say church, like that's just how we do it. That's just how I like to praise that thing that I'm thinking about, my conceptualization.
And I'm with you that it's more important. I think it is more important how you're praising him outside of the building.
Yes. Pastor Ed says that all the time.
Really?
Yeah. He's like, when you leave these four walls, like you need to, like churches and something we come and do just once a week. Like y'all are in the game. Did you say that in your service?
No.
Oh man, he was going off. He's like don't treat this like the AT&T Center. Like when you walk into the AT&T Center and you're watching them hoop, and you see Wimby and they're doing their thing and they're balling and blah 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 blah. Like they're spectators and observers. He's like, no. Like it might feel like that here, but don't treat that like the AT&T. Don't treat this like the AT&T Center. Like we're all in the game right now. And like he like
Fire.
bridged that after
Fire.
the pray for everybody gap in the beginning.
That's so fire.
Yeah.
No, yeah, I get it because church is almost like, I mean, it's
a box to check for some people.
Oh, it's tough. It's like practice. It's like practice for like you're getting
it's like the gym.
Yeah, like but you got to be in life too. Like that's the harder part is to like make a right choice in your life, or like to offer to pray for somebody when it's like the right time to do it, and you feel like the same kind of like maybe like uncomfortable spiritually tight feeling you feel in church sometimes. Like I don't know, or to stand up for the right thing. It's just like hard to do in your real life, but I think we go to church to get like yoked up to go like do that in our real life.
Yeah. It's a spiritual gym.
Yeah.
Come on.
And to be reminded that it's important. And then I think also like hopefully what goes on is like at church becomes like relevant in your life, or like as you become spiritually aware of the things you're talking about that week, they kind of present themselves to you that week. And then now that you're aware and you can like be better in that regard, then you like go back to church and you feel like sometimes like, man, he's talking right to me. Like I know exactly what I need to address, and he's talking in broad spectrum to everybody. But it's like, okay, I'm gonna go work on that, and like hopefully that's something about that. Also, I think is like makes generalized anxiety go away because you're working on yourself. Like you're covering up your own. You can kind of identify what your fuck up like personality traits are, or like what you're doing that's like not making yourself the best version of you. Otherwise, church would just be like, yeah, I love church. Like everything would be all just like all positive emotion upward. Just be like a cheerleader for God almost. Some of it's like an angry coach. Sometimes it's like you are not practicing hard, or like you're not finishing games, or like you're not catching the ball. Like, come on, dude, I need you to like be better and be more, or like we'll lose. Like this whole thing we'll lose. And it's crazy because
it's important.
So like, yeah, what are we lifting for? What are we practicing for? What are we gonna live for at church? Like, what are we? I don't think it's like it's not Christmas. You know what I'm saying? We're not just celebrating God per se, like strictly that. It's like praise and worship, but it's like it's an application. It's applicable.
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
So like when I'm in my life, I need to apply it. Like if you're not applying it anywhere, then it's like, in my mind, I'm kind of strict with myself, right? Like I'm like wasting.
It's a prayer stat.
Yeah, right. Well, I have it for something. It's supposed to be used. It's like an important stat.
Yeah. Man, I love RuneScape.
Shout out RuneScape.
God dang, I love that game.
Conceptualize life a lot.
Yes, man. Damn, I had some. I was gonna say something, but I forgot.
Oh man.
Oh yeah, I guess a thought just came into me. Like, why do we go to church on Sundays? Like, what is you know? Why is Sunday like and like the days themselves? Like who? I think we talked about this before as well. But like, who decided like Sunday, Monday, like to Saturday? Like, where does all that come from? And then why do we go to church on Sunday? Because I was just thinking about in lieu of that idea. Because in my own life, every time I go to church on Sunday, it's like an episode of a show. It's like Game of Thrones is coming out every Sunday. It's just like every time I go to church, it's like, all right, new episode, and it like resets me for the week.
Yeah,
I love being off on Sundays because I don't know, there's something about it that feels like a true reset on Sunday that I'm able to hop into Monday and be ready to go to Saturday.
Like Monday and Friday never left, like because we didn't work on Monday through Friday, but the idea of what Monday through Friday meant to us like never became untrue. Like a Monday through Friday has that like feel to it. You're at the end of the week on Friday. The weekend is Saturday, which is like the day where there's no consequence. Like you wake up, you didn't have to go to work, and you get to go to sleep. You don't have to go to work. And then Sunday has a natural pressure to it because you're returning to the routine at the end of it.
Well, I got a thing here. Why do we go to church on Sunday?
Here we go.
This is what I googled.
I would guess because the Lord rested on the seventh day.
Where are we at? Christians are people who recognize that even though, like all humans, we have been created in the image of God, we fall short of of what God expects of us, and therefore we have sinned against Him and have belittled His glory by treating the things that we made more valuable than He is Himself. Christians recognize that we deserve to be punished for this. We really do. This is a serious offense. Blah blah blah. Blah, 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 blah. So Christians are people who believed in Jesus Christ, Son of God, died for the Son, arose from the dead, who reigns in heaven. Blah, blah, blah. Oh, where's the reason, man? Give me the meat and potatoes, man.
Dude, Google be like that. Who writes all those Google articles that pop
Right.
up when you ask these questions? Like I googled, can I eat pork sausage 3 days after its expiration date? And a bunch of articles populated, like a bunch. And then I clicked on them, and they're like terrible articles, but someone's writing them. They're out there. These like college students. I don't know.
At this point, it's probably AI.
Maybe.
Right.
Anyways,
Well, this just says the answer is that Christian worship has its roots in Judaism, born among the Jews. Jewish Bible is the first part of the Christian Bible. And among the Jews have said to keep, and in the Ten Commandments, remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy. And that is the seventh day, Saturday, not Sunday. And so there was one day in 7 rhythm as the Jews gathered. Let's keep the Sabbath day holy. Because we've been rescued from our sins, united with the risen, living Christ, and with each other through faith in Jesus. And because of that union with Jesus and with each other, the Bible, God's Word, calls us to regular weekly expressions of our corporate joy and thankfulness before God in worship. Okay, I guess keep the Sabbath day holy, and then something fell out with that to get it to Sunday instead of Saturday.
that's tight. That's tight.
I guess our Jewish services on Saturdays.
I don't know.
Gotta be.
Is that what goes on?
I think that's what I just read, more or less. Keep the Sabbath day holy. Okay. I don't know. I just thought it was really weird. Like, I thought of like not just like a week in terms of days on a calendar, but like, how did that get organized? What is going on? And then why on that day do we go to church? And also on that day, I do feel like it's I get a whole reset. It's like I'm like looking forward to that day every week. And it's like, boom. Boom.
One, I think, because church is like that. Like, I feel refreshed by church for real.
Yes.
My dad says that no matter how tired you are, you should go to church because you're gonna leave church less tired than when you woke up. It's like it gives you something back.
Yeah. Yes.
But then
That ties into what Russell Brand was saying, that like we have to, when you do that, like, you have to give ourselves to something. And whenever you do that, you kind of get like a little boop.
Yeah. That's what you're supposed to be giving yourselves to. I mean, I just had church today, but they make it really apparent there. You know what I'm saying? You're like, oh yeah, this is important. This is what life's really about. I think that's probably what's nice too, is like letting go of all the micro stressors, just remembering that it's not like important.
Yes. It's nice. It's like such like a cheat code. Like, I don't gotta worry about any of this shit, man.
And you don't.
It's fine.
Like, you don't.
Yes.
It doesn't even help to worry about it.
To a degree, yes. Like, it's such a paradox.
You have to deal with it for sure.
Mm-hmm.
I think
it's your responsibility. It's your responsibility. But ultimately, you only have so much control anyway. But like, uphold the most of your responsibility that you possibly can, and then know that you can rest on the fact that everything else is gonna be all right. The macro will take care of the micro. If you're doing your absolute truest best to take care of the micro yourself, like, and believe that the macro will never let you fall, it's like that combination of things. That's the combination. You need both to ultimately be getting on that perfect timeline and getting into that maximized story, that maximized champion version of yourself.
so true. So true, bro.
Yes, dog.
I feel like that's second nature to us now.
Mm-hmm.
But it's hard to. It's all you have, first of all. All you can do is give your best, anyways. But it's astonishing how many times the micro gets taken care of.
Yes.
It's like you're always gravy, just floating through life. Not in like a arrogant way, but just like in a, like, you have a relationship with giving your best, and you like know what to expect more or less.
Mm-hmm. Yes, bro. Yes, bro. It's crazy. So worth it. So worth it.
Yeah, that's a big question, right? But I'm here to testify.
It really is like going to the gym. It's so not worth it at first, and then eventually you like the blind faith of like, is this even worth doing? The blind faith to like even get you into the gym in the first place. So you have to have that blind faith to even do it one time, or to do it continually. It's like, oh, eventually this is gonna pay off, and then it does.
It does.
It fucking does.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. You're like, no, like the science.
I don't
of
have
that
to think.
is true.
Yeah, I don't have to debate or worry if it's worth it or not.
Yeah,
No, I know it is.
Yeah, that's great. Then it's not blind faith anymore.
Yeah. I think that's what you were kind of saying.
Yeah.
It's a known certainty. If you knew you couldn't fail,
What gets hard is the process then.
mm-hmm.
Because like we could, so let's say now you're convinced that you can't fail, which is great. You should be.
Yeah, hell yeah.
It's hard. What's the process of like being that person every day? Even though I know I won't fail if I do all these things, but it's really just giving your best at the things you can identify as what you should be doing.
Yes,
every day.
yes, because you only know so much.
Yeah, like that's the harder thing about it, in my opinion, because everyone can get gassed up on a good Andrew Tate video or Denzel Washington, people that make you feel like you're empowered and in control of your own destiny. It's like you are to a degree, but at the same time, like it's hard to sacrifice. And I think it ties back into the Cain and Abel story. It's like Abel, in my opinion, what he did was like you said, like the blind faith sacrifice. That's definitely worth it. But like you wouldn't know unless you like. With Cain, I think he knows that he's cutting corners. You feel it. Everyone knows when they're like, should I do it that way? It's going to take longer. It's going to be more difficult. Or I can just do it this way and get it done right now, even though it's maybe a little less than what? Like the ideal, or like you kind of naturally identify like what the best way to do something is, and then when you're like not doing it because you want to save time or you want to save like effort or whatever it might be.
I think it might be even one level deeper, because it's like maybe even Cain was doing his best and Abel was doing his best, but Abel was so attached to what he thought his best should be in this thing, and Abel was able to try his best in what he thought he was supposed to be doing through his own perspective, but then also ultimately give it that God's will be done before mine. Like, I think this is what I'm supposed to be doing. I'm going to try my absolute best at this, but ultimately, if this all falls apart, and I fail by my own definition, if I launch my business and I flop, or if I try this and I fail, if I try out for that part and I don't get it, like I have to trust that that's part of the bigger plan, more so that precedes my plan.
That's fire.
And Cain didn't do that either. He's like, or whatever, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
There's many levels to be the Cain. There's only one way to be the Abel.
That's an ideal. That's the definition of an ideal. It's like it's only one way.
There's one way. Man, yeah. That's what's up.
That's hard as fuck, dude. On that note, we probably should wrap it up, man.
Yeah, you ready to wrap around? Wind it down? I don't even know how long it's been.
Hour 17.
Okay.
I'm pretty much there.
Yeah, dog. Yeah, I think we're good. I think you're trying to go get some hoops in.
Yeah, I don't know what time it is.
It's like 7 plus.
Yeah, we're good right now.
Yeah.
I'm cooking.
For my dog.
Get my buckets. I heard my pastor talking about hooping today, and I was just like, yep, so cool.
And he came to our establishment.
So cool.
Yeah, he was taller than I thought. He was like, you're tall.
I was like, you get buckets, bro.
You can get buckets.
Dude, but the first thing
He's like 6'4", 6'3".
One of the first things I said to him was like, yeah, I started coming in April, and I haven't missed a week since last week. Because I used to be like, I haven't missed a week since I started going to the church he's at. And then like I got into saying like, dude, I haven't missed since last week. Last week was actually the first week that I missed. And here you are, in the flesh.
In the flesh.
You got me tripping. Like, you're going to come knocking on my door if I don't show up, man. You're coming over to where I work.
Yes, bro. Yeah, it was so crazy to see him. Because we've been going ever since, I don't even know, way back before. Yeah, around Easter, before Easter, February, March. I haven't missed a week. And if we weren't able to be there, then I listened to it online.
Yeah.
It's been twice. I had to do that twice. But yeah, and then we saw him. I was like, oh my God, I love you. First words came out of my mouth. Couldn't say anything else.
It's crazy. It's crazy. Yeah, what do you mean you couldn't say anything else?
I don't know. It's just like the first synapse. There was nothing else that preceded that. I didn't even say that, really. It just came out of my mouth.
That's awesome. That's so awesome. He's a celebrity.
Yeah, it was awesome. He's so nice. So nice.
So cool.
Yeah, crazy.
They just watched me be starstruck. They're just like, it's nice to meet you. It's like, okay, thanks.
My dog.
I gotta get out of here.
Love that guy. Oh man. Yes. I wanted down. Any parting words for the beautiful people?
Yeah, that's a lot to digest. So try to keep it, warm waters most of the time, like a hot tub soak. But that's really what we're trying to do here, is just like hustle and motivate, but also like it's hard to always be telling yourself these things alone in your room. Like, you might be the only person that's like telling yourself to try your hardest and stuff like that. So,
yeah.
I want to be like a voice for that's like, no, it's worth it. Like,
it's worth it. Keep trying your hardest.
Yeah,
keep doing your best.
Like, you're on the right path if that's where you're going.
Yeah. Do your best, but rest assured that everything will be all right.
Yeah, facts.
I
So
hope we
Justin's always
revealed.
saying, "Get in there."
Yeah.
It's like, try your best, dog.
It's worth it.
Yeah,
It's
super
worth it, I promise.
Yep.
Yes, man. All right, keep going. We're rooting for you. We love y'all.
I love you guys. Talk soon.
Peace.
Bye.
Rolling through the city to the light show. Really ain't no telling where we might